Okay. My name is Ben. I go to the gym very regularly and have done for 10 years, never varying outside the realms of 4 to 6 times per week. But I have a dark confession to make. I don't have abs. Wait, don't click off the video yet. Let me make this discouraging statement into something encouraging. If you are somebody that's wanting to start their fitness journey, you might have a goal in mind, something along the lines of, I'd like to have visible abs in the space of 3 months, 6 months, or even a year's time. But 10 years in the gym, working out extensively 4 to 6 times per week, and not having abs at this stage surely would mean I should quit, except I don't, and I never will. Now you might be asking yourself, why is that? Well, by all accounts, and to avoid mixing up my words, I live a balanced lifestyle. Hang on, this video is getting a little bit too intense. Let me just pop a quick Lucy. Oh, I completely messed it up. Now, the term balanced gets thrown around constantly in the fitness world, and probably even more so in the self-help world, constantly. The problem with that though is that this is coming from people that don't necessarily juggle the same daily workload as the average person. Now, I don't want this to come across as offensive to everybody in the fitness industry, as majority of the time, people in the vast industry of fitness will also be working full-time jobs. However, the messages that get heard the loudest are by the most popular or the most famous people in the industry whose life revolves around fitness and nutrition. I would also like to stress that if I'm saying the term balanced lifestyle over and over again to the point where it sounds like some new fad fitness industry term like carnivore diet or keto diet, it's just totally a coincidence. I just haven't got the vocab to describe my lifestyle with a new synonym every time. So what makes me more qualified in this subject in particular? Well, I'm somebody whose life is built around having a full-time job. So I have to be cautious with my approach to fitness and nutrition, because the time that I have to dedicate to these things are during early 5 a.m. mornings and late 7 to 9 p.m. gym sessions. But here's the key. My approach to fitness and nutrition is not perfect, nor do I strive for that to be the case. When it comes to the topic of balance, striving to have the same routines as these popular influencers with perfect bodies is unrealistic. And unless you've got the unlimited willpower of somebody like David Goggins,
you have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace.
You'll be entirely unable to follow these strict diet and gym routines without giving up days into the process. We all know how the story goes in the aftermath. You tell yourself you'll just take one day off. This then becomes a week, and before you know it, you've completely fallen off the proverbial hamster wheel. So what is the alternative? How will I, and more importantly, you, ever get to our desired goals? Here's the thing, you won't. In my opinion, it's not a goal you want to set for yourself, it's habit. So at this point you might be wondering, what exactly do I mean by that? How does habit equate to having a balanced lifestyle? Well, my answer to that is balance is the bigger picture, and habit is the colour of the paint you'll use to paint that picture. Right, so let's zoom out again for a second, and I'm going to revert back to myself now as an example to attempt to relate with you, the viewer. As I said, I work a full-time job. I've also got a girlfriend who I've been with for 3 years, who I've recently moved country with. I spend the majority of my time with people, whether it be people I work with, friends, family, people I meet down at the pub every week. All of these people show varying desires to get in shape or go to the gym, and yet I can think of numerous examples of people who get started with their fitness journey and fall away from it pretty quick, and it'll be for a variety of reasons. So how have I managed to maintain a routine under familiar circumstances of that of my peers. It's certainly not because I've this ruthless willpower about me or anything special. It's because instead of restricting myself to the strict diet and gym routines of Instagram athletes, my approach is way more relaxed and pretty much always has been. Don't get me wrong, I've gone in and out of phases of being incredibly lean to also being a little bit tubbier than I would like. I've never gotten so wildly out of shape to the point where it's a military effort to get back in shape. Whether I'm shredded or in quotes skinny fat is entirely circumstantial and not necessarily something that happens intentionally. When your life consists of early mornings, busy, hard-working days and late night gym sessions, you will be flunked. So as somebody that is trying to start working out, it is safest to maintain the simplest and most straightforward approach possible. You want the gym or just working out in general to add enjoyment to your life instead of taking away from it. This is a fundamental part of having a balance between your busy work life and the gym. You want to do something that is easiest to repeat 3 to 5 times per week, week after week. Now, as we're getting more into the topic of having a balanced lifestyle, I want to talk about my own experience with it, as it's the only perspective I can speak from with any sort of insight. Every person's journey within fitness is unique. However, I have some specific non-strenuous fundamentals which I follow day to day, which will naturally fluctuate with my natural overall approach to fitness. And these steps are so simple that it's actually pretty funny. Number 1, I'll make sure to have a substantial amount of protein in 3 of my meals per day. Now, what will probably be the most unsurprising thing you'll hear this entire video, I don't track my calories or macros, and quite frankly, I never have. MyFitnessPal will be the crutch of a lot of people, but for me personally, it just takes the enjoyment out of eating entirely, and it just doesn't align with my approach to food at all. So instead of tracking, I'll generally eat from the same source of protein every day. For breakfast, I'll eat 4 boiled eggs, and then for lunch and dinner, I'll go between turkey burgers, beef, chicken, tuna, or some other kind of fish. For good measure, I'll also throw in a protein yogurt or a protein bar as well, or if you insist on a protein shake, it's also something good you can throw into your daily diet. I just haven't got much of an appetite for them. Now, protein is not the end all and be all of having a healthy lifestyle. You still want to make sure you're getting your fibre and micronutrients from fruit and veg and stuff like that. But if you're new to the gym and training regularly and getting plenty of protein in, then you'll see a substantial difference straight away. Number 2, packed lunches. Now, I used to be a lot more militant with packing my lunch every day in my late teens and early 20s as a way to save money. Nowadays though, that has changed a little bit. I've pivoted my stance from saying no to the chicken fillet roll lifestyle to every so often partaking and having one. They're nice and also addictive. However, I'm still a die-hard My Little Pony lunch packer. Interestingly though, I'm still incredibly lazy at meal prepping. I've probably meal prepped for a week of work 3 to 4 times in my life. I'll even whip up my lunch last thing in the evening, or sometimes even first thing in the morning. There'll just be a little bit of couscous, which takes 5 minutes to cook, maybe a tin of tuna and some green beans, and boom, I'm golden. Throw in a piece of fruit and a protein yogurt and you've pretty much got yourself a one-way ticket to becoming Mr. Olympia. Number 3, working out consistently. Now, this is a fundamental that simply goes without saying. However, it is probably the part for people who are beginning their fitness journey that they struggle with the most for various reasons. Now, for beginners, I'd recommend looking for an upper lower body workout plan, something straightforward. You can find them on Reddit, not a bother. Then deciding exactly how many days you'd like to go to the gym per week and what's easiest for you to stick to. It could be 2 days per week or 3 days, 4 days. Just do what you know you can achieve every single week without fail. My workout routines have fluctuated a bit over the years, whether I'm lifting weights most of the time or I'm running, training for a half marathon. My workout routine has been fluctuating as we speak whilst I've been away traveling. Yet I'm still making sure I'm getting to the gym at least 3 times a week, or doing long walks or hikes, just keeping active. So those are the fundamentals that I follow every single day to varying degrees. For instance, like, I am still enforcing them while I'm away traveling, but not as heavily as I would when I'm at home, like working all the time. But what about the other factors that come into play? When I'm talking about balance, does drinking impact my routine, or is it just part of it? Now, my approach to drinking is pretty loose. I'm a pretty casual drinker. Not many weekends go by without a few pints going down. I would say that amount has increased, or the amount that I've drank has increased over the past month whilst I've been away traveling. Like, I've probably averaged every second or third day, maybe, I'm out drinking this past month. In case you didn't know, drinking is probably the #1 killer of gains, but going out for a few drinks is pretty much unavoidable for most of us, which is understandable. Like, I fancy a few drinks now, even just talking about it. The most important thing to consider if you're looking to maintain consistency with the gym is cutting the amount of days you go out drinking to maybe 1 to 2 times per week, and let working out be the damage control. It can be pretty miserable going to the gym with a hangover, but trust me, it's worth it, and it's something that I've done more times than I'd care to admit. So that, my friends, is the dark reality of having a balanced lifestyle. Now, it's important to note that I'm more or less discussing my personal approach to fitness and nutrition. I don't want to encourage having this lazy approach to the gym. Most of the people, or some people watching this, probably have more intensive fitness routines than I ever have. The main purpose I want this video to serve is to provide an accessible approach for those people who have struggled with consistency with the gym in the past. You could consider this like a strategy for people that want to get into the gym for the first time as well. This video also serves a purpose to myself. I'd like to see this as a curtain closing moment on the current level of effort I put in to the gym right now. Maybe it's something I can make a video about in the future. Let me know if you'd like to see that. I'd like to come back to this video in a year's time in the best shape of my life, 1 million Instagram followers, collabing with the biggest channels in fitness. But we have reached the end of the video. If you've watched all the way through and you found that this video served you in some sort of way, or you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. Also consider subscribing. I upload every week. But apart from that, make sure you have a great motherfucking day, people. Cheers. Sayonara.